Everything in AI just changed, and it happened in a single week. Microsoft quietly unveiled an AI scientist that works 12 hours straight and makes real scientific discoveries. Google dropped an autonomous data scientist that writes, tests, and fixes its own Python code with zero human help. And China's Moonshot AI released an open-source reasoning model that can think across hundreds of steps. And yes, all of this landed within days of each other. So let's break down what just happened. Let's start with the one shaking up the entire research community, KOSMOS. Built with Microsoft researchers behind it, KOSMOS is basically the world's first real AI scientist, something that can run an entire research pipeline from start to finish, completely autonomously. You give it a goal and a dataset, brain scans, genetic data, material science data, anything complex, and it locks in for a full 12-hour research sprint. During that window, KOSMOS reads over 1,500 scientific papers, writes around 40,000 lines of Python, runs experiments, tests hypotheses, and then delivers a complete research report with citations and executable code. There's no human steering the process once it begins. It's pure, uninterrupted scientific work. Early trials. Shockingly successful. KOSMOS produced new findings across biology, neuroscience, and clean energy materials. One experiment uncovered how cooling protects the brain. When temperature drops, neurons switch into an energy-saving mode, reusing molecules instead of creating new ones. Another discovery showed that exceeding a certain humidity level destroys perovskite solar cells during manufacturing, something human researchers later confirmed. It even identified a shared mathematical rule for how neurons connect across species, humans, mice, flies, suggesting all brains may follow the same wiring pattern. The discoveries kept coming. KOSMOS pinpointed a heart-protective protein called SOD2 that prevents tissue scarring. It tracked a DNA variant that helps people resist diabetes by regulating a stress response gene inside insulin cells. And it mapped the moment neurons begin collapsing in Alzheimer's, linking faster aging neurons to lost lipase genes that activate the brain's immune system. What makes KOSMOS so capable is its architecture, hundreds of smaller AI agents working together. Some read papers, some analyze data, some write code. All of them share a single internal memory, a world model, that tracks what's been done, what worked, and what needs testing next. It's basically a brain made of sub-brains, able to plan long scientific investigations without losing context. Independent scientists reviewed KOSMOS's reports and found that nearly 80% of its scientific statements were accurate, an insane rate for something running entirely on its own. One 12-hour KOSMOS session produced the equivalent of 6 months of human research work, with reports that looked like early academic papers packed with graphs, statistics, and references. Reviewers said it felt like reading the work of a junior researcher who never gets tired and never stops. Of course, there are limits. The best results came when a human scientist defined the goal and the data, with KOSMOS doing the heavy lift. It struggles with messy or unlabeled datasets. It can't yet process raw images or files bigger than around 5 gigabytes. And once it starts a 12-hour run, you can't redirect it. Its biggest limitation isn't computation, it's judgment. Knowing which ideas matter, not just which patterns exist. Still, AI is now doing real science. And while KOSMOS is discovering new biology, Microsoft is thinking even bigger. Mustafa Suleyman just announced a concept called humanist superintelligence, an AI built not to surpass humans, but to serve them. He says this system will be designed specifically to keep humans at the top of the hierarchy, with the AI being powerful but controlled, constrained, and aligned to human values. Microsoft now has the legal right to pursue AGI independently of OpenAI, because of a new deal granting them access to OpenAI's IP for their own AGI projects. Which means the rivalry between the two is about to heat up dramatically. But Suleyman's vision is different. He describes a deeply integrated companion, something that helps people learn, work, stay productive, and even supports them emotionally. The same system could accelerate science, drive breakthroughs in clean energy, and transform healthcare, while staying controllable and subordinate. In his words, "At Microsoft AI, humans matter more than the AI." A very different approach compared to open-ended AGI ambitions from OpenAI or Anthropic. But Microsoft isn't the only player making moves. China's Moonshot AI just launched something major, K2 Thinking, a direct challenge to OpenAI and Anthropic's reasoning models. Moonshot calls it their best open-source thinking model, and it's not just a text generator. It performs structured reasoning, executes code, uses external tools, and can think across hundreds of sequential steps, completely autonomously. The numbers are wild: 40.9% on humanities last exam, spanning 100+ disciplines, 60.2% on Browse Bench, double the human benchmark of 29.2, 71.3% on S-Bench Verified, a major coding benchmark. It can execute up to 300 sequential tool calls, planning, searching, coding, testing, and verifying results until it reaches a solid conclusion. Moonshot showed it solving a PhD-level hyperbolic geometry problem using 23 layers of reasoning and tool calls, searching papers, running Python, verifying steps, and deriving the correct formula. In real-world use, K2 can build full websites or editors from a single prompt, generating complex React components. It can also run multi-stage research tasks. In one test, it identified actor Jimmy Gary Jr. from a vague, multi-clue description, by performing over 20 searches across Wikipedia, IMDb, and other sources, then assembling the answer. Long-horizon reasoning, the ability to think through hundreds of steps, is becoming the new AI battleground. Moonshot is betting on open source while US labs focus on proprietary reasoning models. And they're exploring test time scaling, giving the model more time and tokens to think, which may become the next major arms race. Then there's Google, going a completely different direction with something called DSTAR. If KOSMOS is an AI scientist, DSTAR is an AI data scientist, a system that turns messy business data into working Python code automatically. Most AI data tools only work with clean SQL databases. DSTAR works in chaos, CSVs, JSON logs, text files, spreadsheets, the stuff real businesses actually use. You ask it a question in plain English: which products performed best in Q3 based on sales and reviews, and it finds the data, writes the Python code, runs it, fixes its own bugs, and gives you the result. No human analyst required. Under the hood, DSTAR runs a swarm of 6 specialized agents. One that scans all files, one that plans, one that writes Python, one that verifies, one that reroutes when things break, and one that formats the final output. This loop can repeat up to 20 times, intense self-correction. If the code crashes, its auto-debugger fixes it. If the wrong data is pulled, its retriever reanalyzes the files. And it uses Gemini embedding 001 to rank relevant documents, pulling only the top 100 to stay efficient. It runs on Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is strong on its own, but paired with DSTAR's multi-agent loop, performance jumps massively. Benchmarks: on DA Bench, toughest data reasoning tasks, Gemini alone scored 12.7%, DSTAR hit 45.24% on Chroma Bench, file retrieval from huge data lakes, 44.7%, beating the previous best 39.8% on DA code. It reached 37.1%, well above the next best 32%. The big deal isn't that it uses a powerful model, it's the self-correcting, multi-agent process that makes it far more capable. And because it works with real-world messy data, scattered across folders, cloud drives, random spreadsheets, it behaves more like a human analyst, except with perfect memory and endless patience. We've officially entered the phase where AI doesn't just help the process, AI is the process. Wild times for AI, right? Tell me your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.